selection than you because of your preparation. Things I'm trying to get across to you. If we do that as a team, 11 at the time, 4 years from now, we'll be walking out of here national champion. And I'll tell you this, I expect nothing less.
97.7 The Zone.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves fall in Game 3, but take 2 of 3 from the Snakes. I'm Barrett Salee. And
is that them? That sounds all warbly.
Get clean car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for more information.
the Braves fall 6-4 to the Diamondbacks on Sunday, disappointing end to a successful series in the desert. A win Friday and a phenomenal performance by everybody associated with Saturday's win over the Diamondbacks.
Have your open ready just in case.
A 4-home run game. He is just the third person in history to hit 4 home runs in a game in a loss. One of those you might remember, Braves fans, Bob Horner against the Expos in 1986. Richard Quellenbach got the loss on Sunday, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. The Braves will head to the Rocky Mountains. They'll take on the Colorado Rockies in the first of 3 tonight. The Braves send Bryce Elder out. He's 0-1, has a 5.57 ERA, 12 strikeouts. Ryan Feltner going for the Rockies. He's 0-1, 3.86 ERA, 41 strikeouts. For leadoff show, 7:25 Eastern, first pitch with Ben and Darren O'Day at 8:40 Eastern time, right here on the Braves Radio Network.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Tweeted out the show.
Playoffs?
So I can reboot it, retweet it.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and you.
The lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car. I'm gonna have a little fun.
Hey, I need you to make sure when you tweet out the show that you put on at ESPN Winchester and at WNSR Nashville.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Does it like Tom Abraham?
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee, they're calling them hogs. They go up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Tom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Somebody respond.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to an Overreaction Monday here in the Doghouse. We have a ton of reaction to get today from both the NFL and college standpoint on the NFL draft. Plus, we'll get a little Talladega in there, plus some baseball, maybe an update on the playoffs, and the NBA. Maybe. Well, I'm just going to say right now, I'm going to blurt this out right now. You hate me if you want to hate on me. I'm just going to blurt it out there, though. This Knicks Pistons series has been fascinating. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. And what happened in the final seconds of that game last night in Detroit was a rotten shame for the Pistons. Now, as a Knicks fan, I'm all right with it. I'm a little bit all right with it. It's a little bit embarrassing, but for the most part, I'm all right with it. Well, I'll explain. Many of you don't even know what I'm talking about. Many of you have no clue what I'm talking about. But I'll drop it in there anyway because it is Overreaction Monday. We welcome those of you who are watching on the X and the Facebook and on YouTube as well as WZZN TV. Check that out if you haven't yet. We welcome those of you that are listening on the various apps from all the stations. We also play it. The lines are open at 256-576-4977. That will get you in. 256-576-4977. You can also text the show. 732-9TISL. 732-982-7469. It is a great way to communicate with us. My personal X feed is at Tom Abraham Show. Don't forget about your big zone deals. You can find the link at 977ESPN.com in the upper left-hand corner. And then you'll find tremendous half-price deals on food and golf and more great things being added each week. Right now, you can stock up on Bigfoot's Little Donuts, Low Trampoline Park, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Metro Diner, Full Moon Barbecue, Golf at Cherokee Ridge, all while supplies last. Today's monologue is brought to you by our good friends at Owen Home Appliance Center, where it's time to bloom the savings at Owen Home Appliance Center. They got a new shipment of scratch and done items at the Somerville location. You can snag side by side refrigerator with water and ice for $6.99. Or head on down to the interactive location of Lacey Springs and check out all the great and latest in appliance tech. Quality product, quality price, quality service only at Owen Home Appliance Center. One of the shows is wide open today. Wide open for you to get in on anything that's going on out there. And then, in hour two, Damon Amendolara from Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio will join us on thoughts on the entire NFL draft. Of course, the big story has been Shedeur Sanders and his incredible slide to the 5th round, where the Browns end up taking him as the second quarterback that they drafted. Many, including Mel Kiper, thought that he'd go 5th to Cleveland. 5th overall. Not in the 5th round, but 5th overall. This now becomes the defining moment in Kiper's incredible career, covering the draft for ESPN for over 40 years. Of course, his name was made during that great rant by former Colts GM Bill Tobin back in 1994, after Kiper questioned Indy for moving up 5 spots in the draft to draft Trev Alberts, when Kiper thought that they needed an upgrade at quarterback over Jim Harbaugh. So Chris Mortensen asked Tobin about it, and we got this.
One question, Bill. A lot of criticism about not taking a quarterback here. Your response?
Well, you know, we got a guy up there. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way? I mean, here's a guy that criticizes everybody, whoever they take. He's got the answers to who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never ever put on a jockstrap. He's never been a coach. He's never been a scout. He's never been an administrator. And all of a sudden, he's an expert. He's in our papers 2 days ago telling us who we have to take. We don't have to take anybody that Mel Kiper says we have to take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman, and he doesn't even have season tickets to the NFL.
I mean, goodness gracious almighty. How epic is that? Mel Kiper doesn't have any more credentials than my neighbor, the postman, who doesn't even have NFL season tickets. Trev Alberts turned out to be a colossal bust. Kiper was right. Kiper was right. Spot on. But Kiper has missed in the past, too. I mean, when you do that for 40 years, you're going to miss at times. He loved Jamarcus Russell. Loved him to the Raiders, #1 overall. Loved David Carr. Not Derek Carr, who's had a pretty decent career. David Carr, the older brother, who was drafted #1 overall by the Houston Texans. He loved Jimmy Clausen. He thought that the Falcons way overpaid to move up to take a wide receiver by the name of Julio Jones at #6. But when you put yourself out there like that, you're going to have some of those. And he hits a lot more than he misses. Oh, what's crazy is that the Browns took Sanders in the 5th after taking Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd. I mean, no one ever drafts 2 quarterbacks. in the first in the same draft. Well, actually, it's happened 10 times in the last 31 years, including last year. Remember, the Patriots took Drake May 3rd overall. Then they took Joe Milton 193rd. All right, so that's different. 190 picks different. I mean, it happens like that sometimes. Remember when the Redskins took RG3, number 2 overall? And then they drafted some dude by the name of Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. It happens. It hasn't happened a lot, but it happens. But what happens, it happens like that. No one has ever drafted 2 quarterbacks within 100 picks of each other. You know what I mean? Within, like, this one was picked and then this one was picked within 100 picks of it. It's always like near the top. You know, the Carolina Panthers in their first draft, 1995, or second draft, they take Kerry Collins, number 5, and then they took quarterback Jerry Colquitt at number 191. In 1999, Cincinnati took Akili Smith, number 3, colossal bust out of Oregon. Took Akili Smith, number 3, because they didn't want the one that went 4. That was Donovan McNabb. They took Akili Smith, number 3, and then they drafted Scott Covington, number 239. That's the way you do that. You know, typically when that happens, that's the way you do it. Kenny Pickett in 2022, one of, I don't know, half a dozen quarterbacks in the Cleveland Browns quarterback room now. Kenny Pickett was number 20 overall. Then they drafted Chris Oladokin, number 241. The Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks 52 picks apart. Dylan Gabriel, 94. Shadir Sanders, 144. I'm surprised they didn't take Kyle McCord, too. I mean, Cleveland goes through like 4 or 5 quarterbacks a year anyway. You know what I mean? So why not? Vegas has odds. They have odds on what Cam Ward will do in his rookie season. They have odds with which of the 5 quarterbacks Cleveland has under scholarship right now will end up being the starter week 1, and then they have odds as to whether or not Shadir Sanders will start it. I mean, she's just like released Dylan Gabriel now. Look, he's crafty. He's got some skills. There's no doubt about all of that stuff. I mean, he's 5'11", you know, barely. Can you release a guy that you drafted in the 3rd round, like before minicamp? Just like, never mind. I mean, give the kid a chance to go play somewhere. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, back in the massive command center, playing the Platters That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, answering the phones, filling in all week long for Jumpin' Joe Hunk, who the Hunks had a healthy baby girl this morning. So congratulations to the Hunks with the healthy baby girl this morning. That's a good job. It's really mostly a good job by Mama Hunk. I mean, Joe really didn't do much. Planted the seed and got out of the way. Anyway, good job by them. Joe will be off all week. So that means we get...
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a span polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son! I don't like violence, Tom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You ain't first. You're last. He's got Abraham down.
What a catch!
What a catch! A leaping catch at the 45-yard lines, and he brings it in.
Hey, John Boy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Some would call me Fleming because I always show up.
You do. Yeah, you do. You should be like Fleming. You show up. Let me ask you a question. Have you spoken to your partner in crime, Joe Hunk. Other than that group text that we all got, did you go get him on your show today on the Joe Hunk and Baby Abe show, or what? What'd you do?
No, mainly because I know that this is a very special moment for him. It only happened twice before, so I wanted to kind of leave it to him and his family.
You should have just called him, man.
It would have been funny
off the cuff, yeah.
But at
he
the
might
same
not
time,
answer, but you should have called him.
at the same time, maybe tomorrow we'll get him on the show.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm still thinking about the draft. I'm still thinking about Talladega. And also I'm thinking about Dylan Gabriel, and I'm thinking, I mean, if the Browns thought that he was a good pickup, I mean, his height shouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, we saw Russell Wilson win a Super Bowl, and he's 5'11", and Drew Brees, one of the greats, only 6 foot. So come on now.
Russell Wilson's only 5'11"?
Yeah, he's a short, stocky fella.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he could be Russell Wilson. So John was at Talladega over the weekend, and but you didn't get to see the JV race, right? Because that was a hell of a race. You just saw the big race on Sunday?
No, I didn't see either of the races.
Don't even go there. Don't even say that.
You must have not listened to the Blitz this morning.
I'm not listening. I have no time to listen to the Blitz. I'm putting together the Tom Abraham show.
Well, what happened?
Are you serious? You did not go to that race?
I didn't go to that race. Yeah, no, I didn't. I went to Talladega. I enjoyed the festivities the night before. I get into Talladega, and we're about to actually walk into the fan experience. And, well, Summer was experiencing a little bit of heat exhaustion, and I care.
My gosh.
I care. What do you want me to do? All right,
put her back in the car and tell her I'll see you in 4 hours.
The problem with that is the Shagwagon doesn't have AC. I should have honestly set up
drop her off at the Cracker Barrel and tell her I'll see you in 4 hours. Are you kidding me? You really didn't go to the race because she had quote unquote. How could she have heat exhaustion in the morning?
It was
before the race even started.
The sun was beating down on us, and from the night prior, we partied, and she probably didn't drink enough water, and I don't blame her. I mean, I
can't even tell you how disappointed I am in you right now.
You know, I
had this opportunity to do something unbelievable. You had this opportunity to bucket list thing is Talladega. I mean, I haven't been to Talladega. I've been to Daytona. I haven't been to Talladega. And you had this opportunity to take in this race. By the way, this race finished 62 laps under green. There was no big one.
Nope.
I guess the big one was you not going to the race.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm going to be real with you. All right. I wasn't too disappointed. We got back in time, watched the race on TV in the AC with water.
Wait, all the way back to Huntsville?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what time did she have the heat exhaustion? 9 o'clock in the morning?
It's around 11 o'clock. Yeah, she was feeling. But for me,
the race was good. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, do we need a big one? And does there have to be? I mean, the big one was the wreck on getting on the pit lane, pit road early in the race. I mean, the first time coming into the pits when everybody wrecked going into the pits. Other than that. But it was very racy if you like pack racing. And that's what it was. It was 3 and 4 wide the whole time. Very racy. There were some moments, there. Joey Logano and his teammate Austin Cindric. Joey laid into him. I don't know if you've heard that audio yet. Oh my gosh, he laid into him.
Because golly,
I can't believe that you didn't go to the race.
For me, this is what I think of it. I'll get another opportunity. I'll have plenty of opportunities.
Oh my gosh.
But if something happened to the old lady, I would have felt terrible, and I want her to enjoy it the exact way I would. And I understand that I'm a brick. Like, you can't break me. Well, you can break a brick, but you can't break me. But for everybody else, they're a little bit more breakable.
I said, I hope they're careful with the sun. That's all. I said, were they prepared? Did she have clothes on? Did she have a hat? Did she have anything to keep her, cool in the sun? It wasn't even that hot.
She was
rocking 75 degrees.
It was 80 degrees in Talladega. It was a little bit warmer, and with not a lot of shade, it hits you a lot harder than you think. She had my cowboy hat on. She was definitely looking good. She had the nice shade over her, but her boots were giving her a little bit of blisters. I mean, it just seemed like it was not her day.
Why would she wear boots? Why wouldn't you wear sneakers?
Because this is
you got to walk around. I know, but you got to walk a mile, back and forth, get in and out of the parking lot and everything else.
I'll say some of it's my fault. I told her to pack lightly. I said only 2 shoes. And the 2 shoes that she packs, they are blister prone. So, but you know what? I'll get another opportunity. She'll get another opportunity. We at least got to party with those party animals down to
poll
Talladega.
question. I'm going to put up a poll question. I should put up a poll question. Poll question. What should John have done with the tickets he bought, by the way? Not free tickets. He bought tickets to go to $120, $150 worth of tickets, whatever he bought tickets to go to Talladega. Should he have told her, look, we're going in no matter what? Should he have dropped her off at a restaurant and said, you can watch the race here. I'm going in. I'm going to go see the race. Should he have not taken his girlfriend to the race and just gone with his buddy, a dude? You guys tell me what you think he should have done.
I don't have any dudes that watch NASCAR with me. That's the problem.
Gosh.
She loves NASCAR more than I do. So
she loves it so much, you had to go home.
Yeah, no, she was tore up about it, but she appreciated how kind I was, and well, that's just how it is being a man. But yeah, no, I didn't pay too much for it. I was hooked up from Bama Brad or Carl, Crimson Carl. Get mixed up with him.
Carl, not Bama Brad.
An absolute legend, and he actually got to experience the race, and he told me plenty of it. I thought the race was fun; it was good, but at the same time, I would have been upset if I stayed there. Made her suffer just so I didn't see the big one, because I want to see the big one. All right, you go to Talladega.
They got bathrooms there. She could have hung out in the bathroom maybe or something.
I should have just set up camp again.
She would have been
That's
fine.
what I should have done.
She would have been fine.
Maybe.
Disappointing. That's so disappointing. That's terrible. All right. Tell you what, we're gonna get a break. We'll come back and just start taking phone calls. What happened in I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really into the Knicks and Pistons. Really into that. And I'm into that more than I am into, because the only series in the NHL playoffs I care about is the Kings and the Oilers, and they're tied at 2, but it's in the middle of the night crazy. But what happened last night in that Knicks Pistons game was that was tough. And the NBA has an easy fix for that, and I don't understand why they don't do it. I'll explain. All right, we'll come back. Draft talk. You want to jump in on that? Damon Amendola in hour number 2. Wide open hour number 3. What do we do about John going all the way to Talladega, camping the night before, and then not going into the race because his girlfriend had eating sauce? Let's do that right here on the Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Thom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways.
They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want money.
You know, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the award-winning service department at Woody Anderson Ford. Not only routine checkups, but if your Ford or other brand has a bigger problem, their expert service technicians are going to quickly diagnose it. They'll use state-of-the-art tools to get it resolved. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Don't forget the mobile service as well. And a quick lane service department. You can go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and learn more about it. The only place I've gone for over 20 years in the Tennessee Valley is Woody Anderson Ford. All right, just so that you know, before I take the call, just so you know what I'm talking about, what happened in the Knicks Pistons game last night. And since you were home, John, you probably should have seen this. But what happened in that game, it was a very exciting game. The whole series has been phenomenal. So much tension, New York and Detroit, and they're beating on each other, very physical series and everything else. So what happened was the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns hits a monster three. In fact, he scored like 5 points in the last 30 seconds of the game. But he hits this monster three-pointer, like a 30-footer. Monster three-pointer, put the Knicks up by 1. I think 94-93, maybe something like that. It was 94-93 or 95-94, 94-93. Anyway, notice, by the way, in the playoffs that we're not seeing 130-128. Now teams are playing actual basketball, so they're playing some defense. So anyway, the Pistons get the ball. They inbound the ball. They take it down. They get it to their best player, Cade Cunningham. He's got a little jumper from foul line extended. He misses it. There's a scramble for the ball with just seconds to go, right? As the clock is winding down, the ball rolls as nobody can recover the ball. The ball rolls to the corner where it is picked up by Tim Hardaway Jr. He picks it up in the corner and he jacks up a three, which of course would have won the game. But the only reason he's jacking up a three is because he's in the corner. It's right in front of the Knicks bench. The ball rolls to him. He grabs the ball. He goes to shoot it. He gets it off, but when he gets it off, he's like body checked by Rose for the Knicks. I mean, he body checked. I mean, it was a body check. He gets hit pretty hard. Why? I don't even know. I mean, at that point in time, get a hand up, but I mean, body checked him. Should have been at the line to shoot 3 in a 1-point game with 2 seconds to go in the game, a second and a half to go in the game, something like that. It cost them, not only does it cost them the game, it cost them, probably cost them the series. Because it's very, very few times. John, put the crack research team on. How many times has a team come back from down 3-1 in the NBA playoffs?
to win a series. If you're down 3-1, like the Lakers are down 3-1, for all the money that they spend and all the LeBron and Luka and all of that, they're down 3-1 to something called the Minnesota Timberwolves, which are owned by Alex Rodriguez. You don't come back down 3-1 very often in the NBA. It's happened very, very, very few times in the NBA playoffs. Not the finals, in any NBA playoff. You don't come back down 3-1. How many times has it happened?
It's only happened 13 times.
13 times. That was the number I was going to say. 13 times in the history. And we're talking about every year there's, like 8 series to start with. There's 8 and 4 and 2 and 1. So it's very rare. Detroit got screwed. All right, let's go to lines. We start with Wolverine Dan. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, yeah, okay. Well, we'll discuss this. First off, John, listen to me. What you do is this: you say, "Look, honey, I've been to one of these races, and you're on your feet a lot. And this time of year, even though it's early, it's still hot. So dress appropriately. Wear something a little bit air through the thinner shirt or a blouse or whatever. But also, most important is wear some real good footwear for you, and that's very comfortable because you'll be on your feet a lot. And not only you're going to be a hero, but just say he really does care about me."
Yeah, and keep in mind, by the way, we should preface this: girlfriend, not wife. Girlfriend. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I understand that.
Oh, 4 years. It's pretty big.
Well,
deal.
yeah, but I'm just throwing it out there. Girlfriend, not wife. I'm
You'd
just saying.
have been a hero, John. You'd have been a hero. She goes, "Well, he really does care about me."
Yeah.
So there you go. Women like that, okay? No matter if they want it or not. If you just trust me. Oh God.
Should you have to tell a 22-year-old woman how to dress?
No, but you could suggest nicely. Say, "Sweetheart, it's really, really physical on your feet. There's a lot of time on your feet. You're walking around a lot.
Workout.
You really need to wear something like that." I bought a pair of Hokas. I've spent almost $200 for a pair of tennis shoes. But thank God I did. I went to Panoply this weekend, and my feet feel great. So, you really have – your feet are so important, Tom. You know that.
Absolutely. I mean, critical. And, that would have been, because I know that they, she works out and stuff, so she must have sneakers, like workouts.
Yeah.
Whatever you would wear to the gym is what you need to wear to the race in terms of footwear. And then you've got to – she's very pale, light-skinned girl. So you have sunscreen. Lots of sunscreen and the big floppy hat and straw hat, big straw hat, and and then stay in the car.
Look, she's gone to just stay in the car. She's gone to Bonnaroo before, all right. So I expected her to know what a festival like Talladega is all about.
Yeah.
Well, when you saw her, she was dressed like that. Maybe you might have suggested, say, "Honey, it's really going to be hot today, and you'll be on your feet a lot." You know what I'm saying? Listen, dude, you know where this is going to get you? It's going to get you to how it gets me. Oh, you know what I'm saying? If it gets you there, that's all that matters.
That's how I felt when I was eating the food that she made for me last night. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Having dinner with your girlfriend offsets going to Talladega when you're a big race fan and seeing a Talladega 500.
Oh, you should have saw it. This isn't any normal tortellini.
Oh, okay. There you go. Hey, listen,
tortellini every night of the week.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the debacle. Tom, how many times, you know this, and because you've followed sport for a long time, how many times does the Detroit sports team get hosed on a call?
Well, it does seem to be they get a little bit more than others.
Yeah, everybody's out for Detroit, for crying out loud.
I don't know if that's the case. I think
that ref, guess what, pal? You're done for the series of all series. You're not going to be officiating till next year. Done, because these calls, that's a game changer right there. That could just swing the whole series.
Yeah, it changed the whole series. And they admitted afterwards that he missed the call. He said it. The crew chief afterward, he said that they missed the call. Here's my question: in a situation like that, especially let's say in the last 2 minutes of a game, why do you have to have a challenge? I mean, why can't they just fix that? Why couldn't they just review it? They review all kinds of other crap. I hate it. Like in the middle of the game, did it go off of this guy, go off of that guy? Did it, the timing? Look, it's at the final play of the game. You can't just review
Okay,
that.
so all right. So why don't they do it the last 2 minutes?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why. Why doesn't the NBA just, an automatic? They do it in college football. You don't have to have certain amount of reviews left or timeouts left or anything else. They just fix mistakes. I mean, it was blatant.
Well, I'm
Knicks.
happy for you because you're a Knicks guy. You like the Knicks thing. Good for you. But I just saw that. My son brought it to my attention, and I looked at it. I go, no, it ain't right. But I'll tell you, Tom, this is the Detroit sports. We get it all the time. Football, so many times in football, it's ridiculous. But actually, I was at one event when it was a bad call when they passed to our offensive lineman. That was he did report in. Matter of fact. Anyway,
At Dallas, at Dallas.
Yeah, anyway, all right, brother. Hey, listen, John, take my advice, bro. You want to be a hero with the wife, or a girlfriend. Trust me. See you.
So, to recap, Wolverine Dan says that you need to be more forceful in dressing your girlfriend properly for a sporting event.
Okay. She was dressed properly. It was just the shoes.
Well, no, she had. Well, that's not.
I told her.
Shoes.
I told her 2 shoes. All right. And she went with the ones that she thinks
sneakers. You tell her sneakers.
Next
you
time.
need to wear your running shoes.
Yep. Next time it'll be sneakers.
What did you have on your feet?
I was actually wearing boots myself. Yeah. But I also had a pair of sneakers with me, but those things got soaked and filthy. So I was rocking the boots because, I could go all terrain.
Vinny is up next. My cousin Vinny. Vincenzo, what's going on?
That's Paulie in the cave.
Paulie in the cave. Why does it say Vinny on my call screen?
I got mixed up with him.
I don't know.
Paulie in the cave.
Maybe you need to update that equipment. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, I just want to wrap up the Sanders issue. Number one, the kid can play. He's got the skills. He energized Colorado. The offensive production went through the roof. Blah, blah, blah. The kid can play the game. But I'm pretty sure Mr. Deion Sanders didn't raise his kid to be that disrespectful or have no clue how important this moment in time is for himself, for his career, for his future. When I didn't see it, but what I'm told is that his phone goes off and the dude gets on the phone and doesn't go, hey, dog, I got to get off the phone. I'm in an interview right now. I'm going to call you back. And go, I apologize, turn off the phone and go, where were we? But he made that interview wait. And this dude's talking like he's not in anything important in his life. That's why he fell 5 spots. Bottom line.
Well, the question will be, 5 rounds. The question will be, there's still issues with his game. All right. I mean, he does hold. He holds about. So there were some issues with his game, but it did hurt him. He went from being a 2nd rounder to a 5th rounder, probably because he comes across as entitled, and maybe this will change the attitude a little bit.
But the other thing is this: he's not built like Vic. He's not built like Allen. He's not built like Jackson or Hurts. He's got to put 20 pounds on to take the hits, because I'm pretty sure, because you're Mr. Cleveland, I don't think that offensive line is that fantastic. Do you agree?
They're not terrible. They're not terrible up front. They got 2 all pros, at guard. They're not terrible on the offensive line. He just needs to make sure he gets rid of the ball. He is a pretty stout guy. I will say this. He is a pretty stout guy. He
needs to get to 225, 230.
Yeah, he'll be 220.
Like said,
he'll be every bit of 220. Yeah.
And if he actually thinks he can stiff arm any of those cornerbacks / linebackers,
yeah,
I can't wait to see the ragdoll VIP play of the week. Look how he's thrown like a ragdoll. Bang.
How did you feel? How did you feel about your Dolphins draft, taking 2 defensive tackles and a corner in the first 4 picks, a safety? I mean, they went defense in their 4 out of their first 5 picks.
Obviously, the free agency put a big hole in that issue. They lost one really good, productive defensive lineman. Okay, I wish they would have grabbed another offensive lineman, but the big issue, the big magnifying glass, was key losses. 2 or 3 productive people on the defensive side. So what am I going to do? Whine about that? So, I mean, they had to repair it. They had to do something.
Yeah.
Plus, we got a pick in the next year's draft because we traded someone wanted our 4th round pick or 5th round pick, and we got a 3rd round pick next year. Yay! But that's my issue on the Sanders deal. This thing about the girlfriend thing, hey, I'm pretty sure if she's not bright enough to figure out where the hell she's going, and she wants to get dressed up the way she wants to get dressed up, so be it. But if she whines about it, don't take her next year or get yourself another girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on. How many times have she's heard about Talladega, Daytona? I mean, it's not like it's canopied and you're sitting there in AC all day. Come on. I mean,
and she's a race fan. She's a fan of race. I don't know if she's ever been to a race, but she's a race fan.
Well, then that's what I don't know why discuss. You need to tell this, like, look, babe, we're going to Talladega. Get comfortable, cover up because you're light skinned. You know, I don't want you getting a sunburn turn. You know, the whole bad thing about a sunburn in the middle of the day out there.
Right.
You know, or get dehydrated because you wore something too tight. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't think there should have been a discussion. Wear what you want to wear, but I don't want to hear you complain and whine when you're uncomfortable. Guess what? Next year, I'm going to go with the fellas.
There you go.
You know, and if you don't like it, honey, I'm pretty sure there's another chick around this town I can date. You know,
Paulie, how many times have you been married?
Never.
Oh, well, there you go.
Good on you, man.
All right,
yeah. Hey, you know what? You know why divorce lawyers are so expensive?
What's that?
You know why they're so expensive?
Why?
Because they're worth it. It. That's why. Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate
Later.
You know, take advice from a guy who's 60 years old that's never been married.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things I could take away from it. It's funny because on the way home, I was very calm about it, but I did tell her, I was like,
I give you credit for that.
I'd
have been losing my mind.
I said, listen, like, I'm planning on being back, but with you, it might not be the case. But no.
Has she ever been to any race? Have you ever taken her to a race?
No.
So she hasn't been to Nashville, or maybe you had to start by taking her to the Huntsville Speedway or something. You know what I mean?
No, probably.
See how that works.
Well,
out.
she's been to the H1 races up in Gunnersville. So, you know, that's
the boat race,
close to it, but not nearly.
That was hot. That wasn't that in late May or something?
Yeah,
or early June.
Yeah. So again, she's accustomed to the festivals and she's gone to the H1 races, but again, NASCAR takes a lot out of you, especially whenever you're partying hard in the middle of Daytona or Talladega. I mean, I'll just say that. So, should have drank some more water. I always tell her that though.
Yeah, both. Well, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah.
All I do is drink water. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm not talking about you.
Okay. All right.
That's a whole nother issue. By the way, we talked about the Browns taking two. ESPN, by the way, give him an A+, Cleveland. Or at least Mel Kiper gave him an A+, because he's married to this Shedeur Sanders pick. But, you know, the two quarterback thing, the two running backs as well. Quinshon Judkins, the kid out of Ohio State, it's an Alabama kid, right? He's from the state of Alabama. Judkins, he's the kid that was at Ole Miss, and a little bit of an attitude guy right there. To be honest with you, they when he left Ole Miss to go to Ohio State, they didn't do much to try and stop him.
No,
I'll just say that they didn't do anything to try and stop him from going up there. The one that is sneaky good is the running back they took in the fourth round, Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson led the SEC in rushing last year and is explosive. I mean, explosive. I'm not saying Alvin Kamara-like. I'm just saying explosive. So, you know, keep that in mind. Why? Keep an eye on that, man.
I don't know how sneaky it is realistically. I mean, I was following him. This is like me on my normal show. I was following him prior to him actually having to start at Tennessee.
Yeah.
I saw this kid was a stud, and he was in his last season.
Got to be able to reach over there and hit that hold button. You know what I mean? And then you can get to him. Jalen Milroe ends up at Seattle, which is probably a really good place for him, even though they have a relatively young quarterback in Sam Darnold. But that's a pretty good place for him. And there'll be a package for Jalen Milroe. There'll be something for Jalen Milroe to do. But he ends up going in the third round. Who had Jalen Milroe going 2 rounds before Shedeur Sanders on their bingo card? And by the way, speaking of Sanders, I don't know if you caught this little note. Yesterday, Shiloh Sanders, who signed a free agent deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defensive back, Shiloh Sanders, the one that they never talk about because, you know, Deion hitched his wagon to Shedeur and to Travis Hunter. Apparently, Travis Hunter and Shedeur are two different things. The kid that he adopted, even though Travis Hunter actually has parents, but he adopted Travis Hunter as his other son. That one went too. Not so much Shedeur. But Shiloh Sanders was sitting with his brother during a live stream, a Facebook live stream, and said, quote, Dad was our agent, but that wasn't working out too well. So today I signed with an agent.
Dang.
Now I know. He was smiling when he said it, but it was clear that there was some truth to all of that. And Shedeur was sitting right next to him, and he just kind of smiled. Shedeur just kind of smiled, a nervous smile. It's like, yeah, they fired their father. Like, Dad was our agent. Did you see the video of, like, 3 weeks before the draft of an interviewer talking to Dion and Shedeur, and Dion was saying how he's going to go in the top 4, both Travis Hunter and he will go in the top 4, maybe 5 is what he said. And then when the interviewer suggested that possibility of going to the Saints at number 9 overall, the both of them just laughed. Like, yeah, no, that ain't happening, dog. Yeah, no, he's going to be long gone by 9.
Golly.
By 9 what? 9 o'clock Saturday night, maybe? By 9 what? No, dog, that ain't going to happen. I mean, how do you miss that bad? I was the exact opposite with my kids. You guys notice. I told all of you that you were no good if you were no good.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Remember
you did that, yeah.
Remember you wanted to walk on in Middle Tennessee. And I was like, and John had some scholarship offers from smaller schools, Ivy League and from smaller schools. John was an excellent wide receiver. And he had some scholarship offers. And he's like, I want to walk on in Middle Tennessee. I'm like, son, let me tell you what's going to happen. If you walk on in Middle Tennessee, you're going to be on the meat squad for 4 years, and you're going to be out there getting your knob wailed on scout team the whole time. They'll take you, but you're going to get, you might dress a few times and on home games. You're not going to travel, and you're going to be on a meat squad. I was solid. I was true with you, right?
You know what?
Blow you up.
You were very much blunt with me. True? Yeah. I don't know. I still believe that I could probably make it onto the MTSU.
Well, you could make it on the team, but you would be, part of. I mean, look, who's to say? You get in there, you work, you do your thing. But I'm blunt with you. Let me get LSU Lynch in here before the break. LSU Lynch, welcome in. How are you?
Lynch.
LSU Lynch.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Well, when he's on here, he hits the wrong button sometimes,
Sometimes.
But look here. They're a country song. Everybody been blonde at 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's blonde at 22, that's for sure. Yeah.
See what they do? They was trying to look cool. You can't do that. No. And it don't take you but one time to learn that. But Wolverine Dan, thank you for your SEC talent, to your stuck lines and everything. The Niners is going to be the gladiator this year. Who was the first SEC team that got picked in the draft? LSU!
LSU had thanks for the call, LSU Lynch. It's a good job by you. LSU had 7 drafted. Alabama had 7 drafted. Florida had 7 drafted. Ole Miss had 8 drafted. Texas had 12. Georgia led the SEC with 13. I'll give you some more data when we return. Brandon will be up as well right after this. It's the Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Atlanta Braves on the road to the Colorado Rockies today. Bryce Elder on the mound for Atlanta, $1.75 favorite. Ryan Felton over the Rockies plus 145, 10.5 over the total. Yesterday, the Braves dropped a 6-4 decision at Arizona as the D-backs snapped a 4-game losing streak. NASCAR yesterday, Austin Cedric wins at Talladega, his third career victory. This week they race at the Texas Motor Speedway. And heading to Texas, the Worth 400, Kyle Larson is a 3-1 favorite to win the Cup Series title. Christopher Bell plus 450. Denny Hamlin is 6-1. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyota-thon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyota-thon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army. By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Quiet night expected across the area. Low temperatures going to be falling into the mid and upper 60s. We'll continue to sit under a partly cloudy sky. That partly cloudy sky will continue into our Tuesday, where high temperatures are expected to reach the lower 80s once again. A small chance for rain and a few thunderstorms to develop heading into the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, where thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. They cannot help you with your heat exhaustion. If it's 80 degrees out and you're wearing boots, you should be wearing sneakers.
Oh, jeez.
And you're wearing a big leather cowboy hat instead of a nice straw hat. But if you have orthopedic problems or considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Stay in the game with TOC. Did she have your big leather cowboy hat on? Is that the one she had on?
Yeah, she did.
That makes a lot of sense, too. A leather cowboy hat on a sunny 80-degree day. You're a knucklehead for that one. should have big floppy straw hat and sneakers. That would have made it. That would have made it work.
Well, she's gonna learn her lesson, and next time we go, I'm gonna be happy that we at least know the lay of the land, and it's gonna be a lot less confusing trying to find our spot. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I had a wonderful time, and I think that's all that really matters.
SEC had 79 players selected. A Big Ten 71. That's the closest it's been in a long time. But keep in mind, the Big Ten has 18 teams. The SEC has 16 teams. So there's 2 more teams to pick from. Let's see, of the 2 more teams. Yeah, Oregon had the second most out of the Big Ten. They had 10. So Oregon, that Big Ten, well-known Big Ten team, Oregon had 10 taken. So if you took out, Oregon and I can't believe UCLA had 5 and USC had 3. How bad has it gotten that USC had 3 players drafted? 3 players drafted. It's crazy. Let me get Brandon in here, give him the last minute of this first hour of the show. Brandon, welcome in. How are you?
Trying to figure out how John doesn't have air conditioning in the tank
Shag?
When y'all were so close with Woody Anderson Ford.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. He needs to pony up. He could have used the money that he wasted going to Talladega to do nothing, and have he could have gotten the AC fixed in the Shag. It is a 2005 expedition. There's no doubt about it. 2004 expedition. It is a 21-year-old vehicle, but get the air conditioning fixed for God's sake.
Like $1,000 to get it fixed. I don't need to do that. And you say that I go to Talladega to do nothing, but you haven't been to Talladega. You don't know all that happens leading up to the race.
All I know is you go there for the race.
Well, I'm going to take the camper to Atlanta June 28th for that night race. So y'all might could ease over there. We'll have an awning and air conditioning, refrigerator, and all that good stuff.
I love Atlanta. I love that race. Now that's a drafting track, I love the races from Atlanta. I'm adding Atlanta to my bucket list because I like restrictor plate racing, even though they're not restrictor plates anymore.
Well, come check us out over there. If y'all want to ride by, you're more than welcome to. And, in honor of prank calls, if I want to say do this to Joe, but get a courtesy phone at the hospital and call Joe and tell him they went home with the wrong baby.
Oh, gosh. That would be funny. After they go home, when would they go home? They'll probably go home Wednesday morning. We'll call like we're the hospital. Thanks for the call, Brandon. We'll call like we're the hospital. We'll take, did you guys take a little boy home with you? I mean, you had a little girl, right? I mean, I think you took the wrong kid home. That would be a funny bit. Yeah, this is Dr. Fine from the Huntsville Hospital. I think you might have left with the wrong child. I'll get to the prank call in hour number 2, which is coming up next. Open lines off the top of the hour. Right after this on the Thom Abraham Show.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contract?
This is Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. Just 5 days after coming back from a blood clot in his right calf, Bucks guard Damian Lillard leaves the floor with a possible left Achilles injury. He'll have an MRI today. The Pacers now have a 3-1 series lead. Sunday Night Baseball, the Phillies beat the Cubs 3-1 in 10 innings at Wrigley. Alec Boehm sacked fly for the game-winning RBI. Dodgers starter Tyler Glasnow had to leave Sunday's start against the Pirates with a right shoulder injury. Manager Dave Roberts says it's likely Glasnow will go on the injured list. And the Washington Commanders are getting closer to building a new home at the site of RFK Stadium, where the team played from the early 60s until 1996. The cost reported to be at least $3 billion for that project, which would include housing, hotels, and retail.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Steve,
So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elmer McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here. Hey, welcome in on an Overreaction Monday here in the Doghouse. A ton of draft reaction getting into both NFL and the college standpoint on that. What conferences had the most picks? What schools had the most picks? Plus, dropped a little bit of Talladega in there, where we're dealing with a sensitive subject. There's no doubt about it. We're dealing with a sensitive subject. My youngest son, who is also a radio personality and is producing the show this week, because Joe Hunk and his wife, Mama Hunk, had a little baby girl Hunk. Okay? All right? Second girl, got a boy and 2 girls. He says he's done. That's it. All right? He's off all week. So that means that baby Abe is mixing the show. And he had tickets to Talladega. He and his girlfriend are both big fans of NASCAR. And so he took her to Talladega. They went the night before. They partied not in the infield, but in the campground areas and so on. You were in the infield?
Oh, we were in the infield.
You were in the infield?
I got plenty of videos I got to show you.
partied in the, I don't know if I want to see your infield videos, but partied in the infield. And then on race morning, she was overcome by the heat, and they decided not to go to the race and drove back from Talladega to their home in Huntsville to watch the race on TV. It's a problem. She didn't have proper footwear. Apparently couldn't handle the heat. Couldn't handle the heat. And so there's that out there as well. Might slip a little NBA or NHL in here as well with the playoffs, a little baseball with the Braves taking 2 out of 3 at Arizona. So they're continuing to kind of come back. They're 11-15 now, coming back from that horrific start that they had. And now they're off to play the Colorado Rockies. And the Rockies are 4-23, I think, on the season. I may have just made that up. I think they're 4-23 for the year so far. Let me double check. Rockies are 4-23. That's a 148 win percentage. The Chicago White Sox thinks the Rockies suck. I mean, that's horrific. The Braves had at least 2 out of 3 there, if not take all 3 of those games. So that's out there as well. We welcome in a new audience listening in Nashville on 95.9 and in Murfreesboro 107.9 and on 560 AM as well. It's WNSR in Music City. Our flagship station, 97.7, The Zone in Huntsville. Also on WCDT in Winchester, 1340 and AM side and 106.9 FM there. Welcome those of you that are watching on the X and the Facebook and the YouTube, and those of you listening on the apps, on the various station apps. Lines are open, 256-576-4977, open line segment, 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 7329-TA-SHOW at 732-982-7469. It is a great way to communicate with us. My personal X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. Coming up in the next segment, Damon Amendolara from Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio, where he's the morning show guy. Get his thoughts on everything in the NFL draft. Of course, everybody is talking about the Shedeur Sanders incredible slide to the 5th round. And there's so many layers to that story. One of which is when the Browns passed on Shedeur Sanders at the number 5 pick, not the 5th round, the number 5 pick overall to take Mason Graham out of Michigan. When they passed on him, somebody said something to Shedeur about, well, who do they have at quarterback? And he said they got Joe Flacco. And it was caught on national TV. And Dion said, Joe Flacco? He says, I like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's my age. Not quite. Dion's 57. Joe Flacco's 40. He did say you liked him. But they kind of threw shade at Joe Flacco. And then 2 days later, Shedeur Sanders is a Cleveland Brown. Vegas has the odds for who will be the starting quarterback for Cleveland. Kenny Pickett is plus 120. Plus 120. In other words, $1 will bring you $1.20. Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Joe Flacco are plus 300. I think Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback day one. Maybe Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is the odds-on favorite. With Joe Flacco apparently as the backup. Dylan Gabriel, they might as well release him. Shedeur Sanders is plus 300. Deshaun Watson is plus 1,800. Yeah, I don't think he'll be out there unless you can play quarterback in a walking boot. Pretty sure that he won't be out there. He's going to go out on a limb and say that's not going to happen. Vegas has set the over-under as we bring in young John. They've set the over-under on Cam Ward's passing yards, John. 3,200 on the dot. What do you think? Over or under 3,200 yards passing for Cam Ward for the Titans in 2025, not for his career, in 2025?
I'm going to say under. I really like that number, though. But, yeah, getting into the speed of the NFL is going to be something that he has to adjust with. I think they're going to rely a lot on the run game still. And I think that we will see a few touchdowns from him. I don't think he's going to get up there too high, but I mean, I could throw it at 25 touchdowns. I'd say 11 interceptions, and I'll sit at 2,900. I'll sit right there with the yards thrown.
The over-under for touchdown passes for Cam Ward in 2025 is 19.5. So you're going over on that.
Yeah.
The over-under for interceptions is 12.5. So what they're saying is 3,200 yards passing, 19.5, 12.5. So Titan fan, how do you feel about that? If Cam Ward gives you 3,200 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, how do you feel about that? We need to see Will Levis's numbers. John, put the crack research team on that. What were Will Levis's touchdowns to interceptions last year and total yards last year? Let's see where he is on that. Travis Hunter, total yards receiving, over-under is 700. I'm going to go over. I think he's primarily going to be a receiver, especially early on with the Jaguars. I'm going to say over 700 yards receiving. Over or under total receptions for Travis Hunter is 70.
I'm going to go over on that one.
I think maybe under on that. Maybe a hair under. Because that's only what they're saying. He's going to average 10 yards of reception. He's not a dink and dunk kind of guy. Travis Hunter is a downfield guy. Travis Hunter can have 700 yards receiving on 50 catches.
Yeah,
he's going to average 14, 15 yards. He's going to average 14 or 15 yards a catch. If you think he's over 70 catches, then he's going to be way over 700 yards. Total touchdowns receiving for Travis Hunter is 5.5. I'll say over on that. 17-game season. He'll probably have 5 in the first month of the season. What were Will Levis's numbers last year?
Last year, his completion percentage was sitting at...
I don't care about that. How many yards? How many yards, touchdowns, and interceptions?
He had 2,091 yards.
2,091 or 2910?
2,091.
That's all?
That's all. Yep.
How many touchdowns?
13.
How many interceptions?
12.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and you wonder why they got a quarterback first. There was no question about it. Jeez.
Yeah, it makes sense. Part of the Shadur Sanders story is the prank call that he took. And so we need to set some background for this. Because people are like, well, how the heck did anybody get his cell phone number? All right, so this is the way it works in the NFL. The NFL issues, and I'm not sure exactly how many they issue, somewhere 50, 60 players. The NFL issues them a burner phone, okay? And then they supply the number to each of those guys, the guys that are perceived to be first or second round guys. They give that phone number to all of the teams. Okay. So the teams have the only people that have that number. So this way, the guy's not getting all these calls and you can't get through to him because he's talking to his mama or anything else. So each of the players get a burner phone, and then each of the teams in the NFL get the list of all of those players with their burner phone. So when you call them, they're going to answer it. And the player knows if that phone, that's the hotline. When that phone rings, you answer it. That's a team calling you. So Jeff Ulbrich, who is the defensive coordinator at the Falcons, he had an iPad that was laying out open on the kitchen counter or wherever it was. And his son, Jax Ulbrich, who is 21 years old, saw the contact number, the draft contact number. He wrote the number down when he saw it. Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator with the Falcons, he was unaware that the kid had the number. He was unaware that the kid was going to use the number to make a prank call to Shadur Sanders. So the kid makes the call, and he says that he's the general manager of the Saints, and we're about to take you. But then you're going to have to wait a little longer. And the Saints were on the clock. And so the cameras were on Shadur Sanders. They thought they were getting picked. And then the Saints, didn't pick him. They picked Tyler Show. one of many quarterbacks that got picked before Shedeur Sanders. So people are calling for Jeff Ulbrich to be suspended, and they're calling for the Falcons to be fined. The NFL has said that they're not going to do anything. The Falcons are not going to be. The league's not going to discipline them at all, and so on and so forth. They're going to, they're cooperating with the league. The Falcons are, but Jax Ulbrich went to social media and he apologized for making a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life and made it terrible. Somebody wrote that for him, obviously, because the kid obviously was a little bit punky to do that. Now, having said that, should Jeff Ulbrich pay the price here? It was on his iPad. It was on the counter. The kid saw it. Everybody is talking about the kid this, the kid that. This isn't some 13-year-old kid now. This isn't some child. This isn't some 7th grader trying to impress his girlfriend who, when she's 22, isn't going to wear proper footwear to the race at Talladega, and then he's going to have to deal with that. This is a 21-year-old man. I had 2 kids and a mortgage when I was 21 years old. Everybody wants to hold the Falcons and Jeff Ulbrich responsible for this. It's the kid that needs to be responsible. And I put the kid in quotes. 21 years old. It's a grown man. He got a beard like his daddy. This is a grown man. He and he alone is responsible. But what was he even doing in the house? Was he at the house? Was he at the facility? Was he at the house? Wouldn't Jeff Ulbrich have had, well, it was probably after hours, or maybe it was, after the draft, or maybe it was, the week leading up to it. Who knows when they get these phone numbers? This is not on Jeff Ulbrich. Now, he raised the boy. I get that. But this is not on Jeff Ulbrich. This is on the 21-year-old, on the young man. That's who that's on. All right, we're going to get a break. When we come back, Damon Amendolara from Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio is joining us next. Thoughts on the entirety of the NFL draft. It is thoughts on these numbers that Vegas has put out there on Cam Ward as well. I'm Thom Abraham, back with more in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Atlanta Braves on the road to the Colorado Rockies today. Bryce Elder on the mound for Atlanta, $1.75 favorite. Ryan Feltner for the Rockies plus 145, 10.5 over the total. Yesterday, the Braves dropped a 6-4 decision at Arizona as the D-backs snapped a 4-game losing streak. NASCAR yesterday, Austin Cindric wins at Talladega, his 3rd career victory. This week they race at the Texas Motor Speedway. And heading to Texas, the Worth 400, Kyle Larson is a 3-1 favorite to win the Cup Series title. Christopher Bell plus 450. Denny Hamlin is 6-1. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I'm a Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. It is a NFL Draft Overreaction Monday here in the doghouse, although we have covered some other ground as well. And you know, about 21, 22 years ago, a then very young rising star by the name of Damon Amendolara was sleeping on my couch in Florida, where I had hired him to come down there and work for us at the radio station. And it occurs to me that today's producer of the show was in diapers at the time that DA was coming down and sleeping on my couch. And now the young guy is hosting his own show, and he is producing this one, which kind of makes me feel old and maybe makes DA feel old as well. Damon joins us now here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. DA, welcome in. Does it make you feel old that the kid that was running around with a diaper on is now producing my show that you're joining me in?
Well, I guess that makes me feel old. Makes me feel old that the people that we're breaking down that were drafted over the weekend in the NFL draft is probably the same exact age we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So yes, all of that is disconcerting. Did I just talk to John on the phone,
Yes.
or was that a different?
No, that was John.
That was me.
That was John.
I sound professional when I call the guests, don't I?
Dude,
that was
how can you call me and not say yo, it's John, or yo, as I remember Jack back in the day when you're like 1 foot nothing. It's hey, it's Jack. This is Jack, and I thought it was a different guy because you were so professional, like we didn't know one another. I mean, yeah, I was sleeping on couches with you. We were playing ball in the yard. You were running around nothing but a diaper. And we always said that Jack, back in the day before John, was probably the biggest personality in the family. And that included a family of a lot of big personalities. But I remember holding you on my lap and somebody going, Jack's going to be the biggest personality in the whole family. He's already got it. So that's amazing, man. Congratulations on already working on the show. That is so cool.
Thank you, brother. And as soon as you left to do whatever you got to do, I started playing football by myself outside. So that's where I got most of my knowledge from. I made my own football league and everything.
He did. He would pass the ball to himself. He made a league with all names and everything else. So to put it in perspective, DA, when I left, when you left Florida for Kansas City, when they launched 61 Sports in Kansas City, I want to say that's 2003, right?
Sometime correct. Yeah. That was September 03. Yep.
September 03. John was 3 years old, so he doesn't remember you. He was 3 then. That's how little he was then. Yeah.
I'm hoping I show up in like a random background of a family photo from 02 or 03, but I don't blame him for not remembering me. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. Yeah. My normal producer, Joe Hunk is off for the listeners. He's off this week. He and his wife had their third child this morning, and healthy baby boy for Joe Hunk and those guys. So that's good. He's kind of like you. He's 40. I think you're a little bit older than that, but he's having these kids like a little bit later than normal. And he claims that he is done now with all of that. And John and Joe actually host a show called The Morning Blitz that is heard on a couple of stations in Alabama and Southern Tennessee. So they've got their own show, and then Joe produces my show, and it's just all incestual.
It's a family affair, which is awesome, and all the guys did so well. I love seeing all the videos and the photos that you guys post, and I loved seeing all of them grow up. And it's pretty amazing because like everyone did so well. You did such a good job, you and the Junkyard Babe, and it's just so cool that they're like still all around your orbit because the odds are you have 9 kids. And like 3 of them can't stand you, and then 3 of them move away, and then maybe 3 of them are close, and maybe 1 or 2 are really close. But like you kept almost all of them pretty close to the vest. I give you a lot of credit.
Well, the mom taught me a lot of patience. So
yeah, she says that all the time. She's like, "How is it that not only do we get along with all of them, DA, they all get along with each other. They're tight as thick as thieves. I mean, they are so close. Of course, one's in California, one's in Florida, and all the rest of them are from Nashville to Huntsville, basically, and all close by. And it is half of them showed up. I was ordained as a deacon in my church last night. Believe that.
Wow! Look at this big weekend. Jeez, forget the Shador slide. This is the news.
I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? And then everybody, my family, they're all a bunch of believers, the kids, except for Danny. He's not sure. He's kind of like on a fence, and he showed up at the church. He's standing outside the door to church. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm afraid I'm going to burst into flames if I walk in there. No, you'll be all right.
The family that is bonded by Cleveland Browns misery stays together. So you guys had that common bond throughout the year.
Well, we needed you. I need you to. You'll be the last one on this. I promise, John, I won't bring it up anymore after this, but I'm dealing with, now you're sitting here talking about what great parents we are, but I think we made some sort of an error here somewhere along the lines so John lives about 2 hours from Talladega, and he got tickets from a listener, hooked him up with a great deal on tickets. And John and his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend now, are big NASCAR fans. They watch the races every Sunday together and everything else. So he decides he's going to Talladega, which is bucket list for a NASCAR fan, right? So he goes to Talladega. Yeah, goes down there the night before, camps, parties in the infield, as you kind of have to do when you're 25 years old and you're at Talladega.
Yeah.
And the morning of the race, yesterday morning, they're going to go in. She's wearing cowboy boots instead of sneakers, and she's getting blisters on her feet. And then the heat, she's got a cowboy hat on, and the heat is getting to her. And then they decide 2 hours before the race that they're going home. That he's taking her home. And
wow,
he was dealing with the sun.
Around for a while.
Didn't even walk into Talladega. And so I'm a little bit. I just learned this on the show. I didn't know. I just learned this on the show, and I'm like, goodness gracious, you drop her off at the Cracker Barrel and tell her to hang there. I'll be back in 4 hours. Or you tell her to stay in the car, or you do something, anything other than leave the track. You don't leave the track. But
wow.
he
and
felt
there was
like
no
he had to
option
leave.
to, could you buy Crocs there? Could you buy sandals there? Is there any way you could have slipped her into some easier footwear?
Yeah, I mean, there was probably a lot of different options. I could have just dropped back off at the campsite as well. But in the moment, the heat was getting to me as well. But I was just thinking, I was like, I don't want her to be miserable throughout today, so I'll just bring her back in. Did I say that my mom got me the patience? No, the Cleveland Browns gave me most of the patience.
yeah, right.
Wow, you're a good man. You're a good man, John. That's I don't know if I could have turned around and just been like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna bag the day. I think I would have had to figure out a different approach. Here's a piece of the infield. I'll buy you whatever drinks or food you want, but I need at least 2 hours at the race.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think that there's a way that you got to get that done. All right, to the draft. David Amendolara with a Sirius XM morning guy on Mad Dog Radio. So let's start with the weekend that Mel Kiper had, because Mel Kiper was 1,000% all in on Shedeur Sanders. He even said that Shedeur Sanders, in his opinion, probably should have gone ahead of Cam Ward, although he was okay with the Cam Ward pick. And it was reminiscent of the seminal moment, DA, and you're old enough, probably not old enough to remember this moment, but this was the moment that the NFL draft became must-see TV.
One question, Bill. A lot of criticism about not taking a quarterback here. Your response?
Well, we got a guy up there. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper, in a way? I mean, here's a guy that criticizes everybody, whoever they take. He's got the answers to who you should take and who you shouldn't take. In my knowledge of him, he's never, ever put on a jockstrap. He's never been a coach. He's never been a scout. He's never been an administrator. And all of a sudden, he's an expert. He's in our papers 2 days ago telling us who we have to take. We don't have to take anybody that Mel Kiper says we have to take. Mel Kiper has no more credentials to do what he's doing than my neighbor, and my neighbor's a postman, and he doesn't even have season tickets to the NFL.
That was a classic moment, no doubt about it. And the funny thing about that is, if you watch the clip, Chris Mortensen asking the question, twice Mort goes to pull the mic back. He's thinking Bill Tobin is done. Of course, Trev Alberts ends up being he ends up Bill Tobin. Yeah, he ends up being a colossal bust, and Tobin's fired 2 years later. And and so Kiper was right. He's been wrong before, but man, did he go all in on the Sanders thing so far as to give the Browns, who drafted 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks, he gave them an A+ in his draft ratings. Your thoughts?
Well, I understand that it's a show, and I understand that Mel Kiper is part of the show. And so I'm not here to tell you that he needs to sit on his hands and act like this is 60 Minutes, that he has been passionate. It is part of the reason that it's worked for so long, and I expect him to have opinions. I thought what he did, though, this weekend was the end of Mel Kiper's usefulness in that role, because one of two things I think happened. Either he has felt the pinch of an industry that he helped create, that he actually single-handedly created, of draft analyst being a thing. And he said, I'm going into this weekend and I'm just going to, absolutely throw grenades to keep my territory. And so I'm a talking point, which, look, works in today's sports media. Or B, he's incapable of reasonable analysis. Because it's one thing to say, I think Shedeur shouldn't be sliding, or I think that these teams are making a mistake, he's going to be very good. But he ended up hijacking the weekend with this defiance that the rest of the NFL was patently, ridiculously unknowledgeable and forget being wrong, that they have no idea and they've never had any idea. Now, again, I realize it's part of the show, but it's not like he's 1,000% correct. He's had Jimmy Clausen and Mitch Trubisky as franchise QBs. So who's to say that they're wrong this time around and he's right? They might be right and he's wrong. But I just think like there's a way to be an entertaining analyst without being so defiant and so ridiculous you cannot even have a decent discussion. I mean, when Reese Davis, and my guess is you know Reese pretty well, when Reese is the one getting really animated and really emotional, trying to basically like talk over Mel because Mel's out of control, that to me is the canary in the coal mine of like, okay, we've gone too far here, Mel. We've gone a little too far when Reese Davis is angry. So I just think it hijacked the whole thing, and Mel was entertaining certainly at times, but I thought unprofessional at others.
Well, yeah, he also, now he gets a lot right too, but he also said he also loved the Jamarcus Russell pick for the Raiders, and then maybe the biggest bust in draft history. He also loved David Carr, not Derek Carr, David Carr, when he was drafted number 1 overall by the Houston Texans. Missed on that when you mentioned Jimmy Clausen, and there have been others as well. But yeah, I thought by the time it got to the point where Mel was saying the NFL has proven that they know nothing about quarterbacks, it does kind of lean into the, wait a minute, you never moistened a jock. You know what I mean? I mean, let's ease up on the NFL has no clue when it comes to quarterbacks. They are a 50-50 prospect. There's no doubt it's a 50-50 prospect, but that's because you got to reach for quarterbacks, and you just keep reaching for quarterbacks. And that's what, now typically you don't draft 2 in the same round, in the same draft, and never has anyone picked 2 quarterbacks 52 picks apart in the same draft. That never have. The closest they've ever been picked before was 100 picks apart. Here they picked 2 within 52, and you wonder if you're Dylan Gabriel, you got to be wondering, am I going to be released before minicamp? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I go see if I can go someplace else now?
Yes, and whether the Browns got this right or not, or whether it's kind of a crazy draft strategy, is like a totally different conversation. And that's where I thought this was absurd. Yeah, we could talk about all of the NFL misses. These happen every single year. And nobody's possibly arguing that the NFL gets everything right. But Peyton Manning went number 1 overall. So I guess sometimes they know the right number 1 pick. And he was the consensus guy, obviously, after what happened with Ryan Leaf and those assessments. Like Andrew Luck was the overall, no doubt, number 1 pick. I guess they got that right. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, clearly got that right. Patrick Mahomes, some liked him, some didn't. Are we to say that the Chiefs got it right and they're not part of the NFL? I mean, they got that right. So it's just like such a stupid idea to say that nobody in the NFL ever knows how to assess quarterbacking. The second part of this is, it's not like Shedeur is Andrew Luck. There is very reasonable analysis that I've read and heard that Shedeur was not a first-round grade guy, and that he's more like a second or third-round grade guy. And Mel had this take as of like the 5th pick of the draft, that it's ridiculous that he's slipping. Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. You got to have some grace. And again, I don't think anybody's arguing all of these GMs always get it right, but you've probably studied this the same way I have. You go through the list of Hall of Famers in the NFL. You know what round the most Hall of Famers are drafted in? The first. You know what the second most Hall of Famers are drafted in? The second. You know what the third most? It's like, yes, there's always misses. But when you take 70 years of the NFL draft, the best players ever are almost always higher in the draft. By and large, the draft funnels the way that it's supposed to. There's plenty of misses, but I find it very hard to believe that 32 NFL teams all got Shedeur Sanders wildly incorrect. Maybe it's the Tom Brady thing, but the Tom Brady thing is an absolute anomaly. And he kept bringing up Boomer Esiason, Joe Montana, and Tom Brady. Well, yeah, but we can't just hold 3 or 4 examples as the reason. Nobody knows what they're doing with the NFL draft.
Oh, I heard a guy last week saying that from a skill set, when he thought about Shedeur Sanders, he thought that a good comp for him in the NFL was Brock Purdy. And I thought, okay, he was the last pick. I mean, he was the last pick in the last round. Like, what are you saying? And that was before, there was any thought that he would drop all the way to 5. And so maybe he is. Maybe he's Brock Purdy. I mean, maybe that's the kind of player he can end up being. It is fascinating. Gallows humor, right? When you have a family full of Browns fans, there was a lot of gallows humor. It's like, well, Cleveland does go through about 4 or 5 quarterbacks a year anyway, so I guess they do need all of these guys, And I thought it was interesting that Vegas has put Kenny Pickett as plus 120 to be the starting quarterback for the Browns, and at week 1 starting quarterback, and that Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Joe Flacco are all plus 300. So I didn't realize that. It's pretty much Kenny Pickett's job to lose, and that's a little bit disconcerting too.
I think that there was such a logical reason that this happened also, that people blew out of proportion that there's some type of conspiracy theory. The league was sending a message. I really don't think that's the truth. I think the truth is, just from a football standpoint, there's a lot of flaws in Shedeur Sanders' game for the NFL level. He was a very good college quarterback. Nobody wants to take that away from him, nor should they. But he took a lot of sacks. He needed a clean pocket to operate. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not a Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen type of athlete, Jaden Daniels type of athlete. He got worse as the season went along last year. His worst game was the bowl game. He didn't work out at the combine. He didn't throw at the Senior Bowl. So the evidence was, you know what? I probably can't invest a first-round draft pick into a guy that's already light in the accolades or light in the resume in a quarterback light draft. If there was a quarterback heavy draft and he was the 7th quarterback on draft boards, this wouldn't be a story. But because he was the 2nd quarterback on draft boards, it was like, well, why is he slipping? And then it became, once you're drafting a guy in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th rounds, you want the guy to come into work, be quiet, and put his head down and go to work. And that's not Shedeur's rep, and it's not his dad's rep. And so you have to start making those decisions of, well, if he's a project, can I trust him in a quarterback room to always be engaged, to always be there, to always work, to help out the starter, to not care if he's not dressing that weekend, and know that it's all just about the bigger picture. And if you worried that he interviewed poorly, which there were multiple reports of this, if you worry that perhaps he was more engaged in celebrity than was football, that's certainly a fair assessment perhaps of his career, then you go, well, you know what? If I got a project quarterback, let me just get a guy that doesn't have all of the stuff that Shedeur already has. And that, to me, was the very practical reason that he dropped so far.
Yeah, and you got to tell him, look, you leave your little brother home, or Deion Jr., the one that's not an athlete, the one that's walking around with the camera all the time. We're not live streaming everything here. But you know what the reality is, too? Browns will end up on Hard Knocks now because of this. The Browns' first preseason game probably going to be on national TV because of this. People want to see a train wreck or people want to see greatness, but they want this is a thing now. And, if you go with the, no publicity is bad publicity scenario, that may be the case from a publicity standpoint. I don't know if it's going to help you win football games, so that's for sure. So we'll see what happens there. Now, to the quarterback that was taken 1 overall, all right, for our listeners in Nashville and wondering about what did the Tennessee Titans get in Cam Ward. A lot of talk whether or not he would have been the 3rd or 4th quarterback picked last year, but this was the year the Titans had the number 1 overall pick. And this was the guy that was the clear number 1 quarterback, and you got to have a quarterback. What's your take on what they're getting? How risky is this guy? Are we looking at Akili Smith, Tim Couch? Are we looking at Donovan McNabb and, somebody that could have a long, productive career? What's your sense? Obviously, it's a crapshoot, but what's your sense going in Cam Ward to the Titans?
Well, I think the reality is he would have been, at best, the 3rd quarterback in last year's draft. Caleb Williams was the presumed number one for a while. And then Jaden Daniels was obviously an explosive, incredible player. We saw how that played out. Cam did not have the career either one of those guys did, nor do I think he has kind of the mechanics of a great passer or incredibly gifted athletically. So yeah, he probably would have been the third or fourth quarterback last year. I don't think that means that he can't be a good quarterback. It's interesting. I had Chris Trapasso from CBS Sports on the show, and I had Connor Rogers, NBC Sports. Both those guys are draft analysts, and I asked them about comps. And one comp that caught my eye when we were talking about Cam was Tyrod Taylor, and immediately I said, "Oof, you wouldn't draft Tyrod Taylor number one overall."
Right.
But this was Connor Rogers' point. He said, well, I think his upside is much better than Tyrod Taylor, but the game is similar. And Tyrod at his best has been a good starting quarterback in the NFL, not a great one. But he said, I think he's better than that, but that's kind of the comp. And I think that when I look at Cam Ward, I feel like his production in college was really, really, really good. So there you would say potential's more than Tyrod Taylor. But I do think there's some limitations, and anybody that watched him last year knows he threw some bad balls. I mean, there were some bad balls in the four deep coverage, and you're like, that's a bad decision. But what I liked about Cam was I thought he was extremely professional in how he handled all of the lead up to the draft, and I thought part of the thing that you draft a guy number one overall is, can you handle this? It's not just about athleticism. It's about, can you handle this? Is your head right? And I think he passed all of that really well. So I don't think it's a mistake that the Titans did what they did. I think what I liked about Cam Ward's grades from a lot of people were every executive seemed to be impressed when they spoke to him. And I think that counts for something. And I think if you're in the quarterback business, which the Titans are, and you have the number one overall pick, you don't know how often you're going to have that, hopefully never again, then that was the right pick. And you do kind of have to just see, you have to support him as much as possible and just see how it goes. I think if you pass on Cam Ward and you're sitting around waiting for another quarterback next year, you might not get a guy that potentially is graded out as well as him. So I think you got to take him.
Yeah, and he is confident without being over the top cocky, and the cockiness, the laughing that you saw coming out of Boulder, Colorado, as picks went by was one thing where this kid was confident. He famously said when he was at Incarnate Word as a 0-star recruit, I'm going to be the number one pick in the draft 4 years from now. I mean, he was at Incarnate Word, and that's what he was thinking that he was going to, or that's what he was publicly saying, that he thought he could be the number one pick in the draft. He also, this is going to be very interesting to see how this is going to play out from the college standpoint, DA, because he is the first transfer portal baby to be selected number one overall. He does not go number one overall if he keeps his name in the draft last year after Washington State. Goes to Miami, becomes number one overall. Now you wonder how that ripple effect will be going into, we're already seeing, every quarterback in the country move 2 or 3 times, but now everybody's going to look to be Cam Ward. Can I transfer myself into the number one slot in the NFL draft?
And I think it makes it a lot harder to assess these guys when they're hopping around different programs, different offenses every year. Did Cam Ward just have one great season because the offense was kind of perfect around him? Or I've heard this assessment, which is interesting, that it proves that these guys are more adaptable to new offenses, new coaches, and a guy like Jackson Dart, you grade higher because he was able to take a new offense like at Ole Miss and do a lot with it. Who knows? It's kind of one of those things where we're in the beginning of this, so we need years down the road to look back and say, okay, after 10 years, this is what we know from this. But I could cut this both ways. It's really just college football is in such a bizarre place that it's really hard to know whether guys are really good or not. I mean, I said this on my show. I thought there were 2 slam dunk picks, Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. I cannot see either of those guys not being studs, specifically Travis Hunter. I just think there's such a high rate, high odds of him being like a perennial Pro Bowl guy. Outside of that, you could tell me that 70% of the first round doesn't make a second contract at their teams. And it wouldn't necessarily surprise me because it feels like assessment out of college football right now is such a crapshoot.
David Amendola with us here from Sirius XM Radio. All right, family, before I let you go, we'll play the over-under game. These are Vegas numbers for Cam Ward. You tell us what you think. over or under 3,200.5 yards passing next year.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question since you know this better than I do. Will he start game one?
Yes, no doubt. And last year, Will Levis had 2,100 yards passing.
Under.
Okay. Over or under 19.5 touchdown passes. Levis had 13 last year.
Yeah, under.
And over or under 12.5 interceptions.
Over. My guess is that this is it. If he starts from game one and he makes the whole season, they don't yank him like a Bryce Young situation. He doesn't get injured and he starts all 17 games. My guess is they're not going to have him throw 30 times a game at any point. He's probably finishing with 2,800 to 3,000 yards passing. So just under that, he's probably at what was the over under touchdowns thrown?
19.5.
He's right at that number. It's going to be 17. And you said 12 interceptions?
12.5, yep.
Yeah, so he's at, I bet you he's 17 and 13, 17 and 14, something like that, with just under $3,000.
All right, so Titan fan, what do you think about that? 3,000 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Is that what you want out of your first year rookie quarterback?
Well, how good is the offensive line, right? How good is his receivers, and how good is his running game? I mean, you hope he doesn't have to throw for 3,500 yards.
Right. Well, yeah, and the focus. So, well, again, and when you look at Brian Callahan, you know, as the head coach, and of course his dad, Bill Callahan, is the offensive line coach there. So they want to grind. You know, Callahan, when he was with the Browns, they ran the ball very, very well. So you got to figure that they want to protect the kid and be smart about, you know, how much they use him in the passing game. It'll be interesting to see what he does with his feet too, because he can be very dynamic, obviously, with his feet. You know, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he can be dynamic enough to give a team pause. So we'll see what happens there. Damon Amendolara has been our guest. Catch him every morning, Sirius XM Radio, 6 to 9 Eastern, DA? Is that right? 6 to 9 Eastern, 5 to 8 Central Time is where you'll be able to listen to DA along with Babchuk as well. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Anytime, bud. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Damon Amendolara. John does not remember him at all. Probably doesn't remember him at all.
No, I remember him from the stories. He better follow me on X.
Yeah. There you go. DA. Good stuff. All right, we'll get a break. And when we return, final segment, you want to jump on board? We got maybe a minute or two to get you in. You can do that at 256-576-4977. Thom Abraham Show. More in a minute.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia if you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Thom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
Welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. For those of you listening in Huntsville, we remind you that on Thursday at Valley Equipment Rental on the North Memorial Parkway, it will be their Customer Appreciation Luncheon. They really never had a grand opening since they opened that new location a couple of years ago. It's absolutely spectacular up there by the Winchester Road. We will be there broadcasting from noon to 2 on Thursday, and they'll have free barbecue for everyone that comes by from 11:30 to 1:30. If you get there at 1:35, and if there's any barbecue left, they'll probably give it to you, too. Well, that's good. So the Shadur Sanders deal, by the way, being that he went in the 5th round, he's going to make $1.1 million a year for the next 4 years. That's what his contract would be. His rookie contract will be that. Kenny Pickett will make $2.6 million next year. Joe Flacco, 40-year-old Joe Flacco, is on a 1-year, $4 million deal. And Deshaun Watson, the quarterback that won't play, will make $45 million next year.
Golly.
But hey, Flacco, Gabriel, Sanders combined will make about $8 million.
It's one way to make up for it.
And 4 quarterbacks making $8 million, $9 million, and 1 quarterback that won't play making $44 million. All right, that's going to do it. We'll do it again tomorrow on a Top 10 Tuesday from Baumhauer's. Until then, for John, I'm Tom. Have a great day, everybody.
This is Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Doug Brown. Just 5 days after coming back from a blood clot in his right calf, Bucks guard Damian Lillard leads